Yes, Mr. Gupta.
Good evening, Rahul. A very interesting question was asked that if our refineries can even process oil from Venezuela, the Jamnagar refinery, one of the biggest in the world, ranks very highly on the Nelson Complexity Index. In fact, it's ideal to process the kind of heavy crude that comes from Venezuela. So I don't know where this question comes from. Number two, yes, we need the fine print of the FTA, but my problem is people are drawing all sorts of wrong conclusions. When we say $500 billion worth of goods, we're not saying it at 0%. The FTA would be discussed, the trade deal would be discussed. The tariffs would vary from category. Right now, even for the agricultural products that we import from the US, the tariffs range from 30% to 150%. So, you have to look at how the trade deal is negotiated, how the final tariffs come into play. And even for our side, some of the tariffs would get reduced. Number three, on the Russian oil. People forget that in 2022, you had a Democrat president in the White House. We defied the Europeans, the Americans, and we continued to import oil from Russia. We, in fact, increased our exports across 22 and 23. So I don't know why people have this fear that now committing to not buying Russian oil will suddenly take the whole idea of market forces away from Indian policy making. If we get better price somewhere, we'll obviously go for it. Number four, there is a confusion going on, Rahul, and I want to address this. People are confusing opening up the agri and dairy sector with importing certain agricultural goods. Let's be very clear. We import agricultural goods worth $1.7 billion roughly from America, which majorly includes dry fruits, which includes some dairy products where our farmers are not being hit, we're not being forced to compete, and some other products. Now, you can expect tariffs in these categories to go down. Even cotton is one of the exports, but we produce far more cotton than we import. So we need to understand opening up dairy sector is not the same as reducing tariffs on certain agricultural goods that come from America.
Plus,
okay, okay. Plus. I'll have to bring in Tushar. Tushar, China takes a stand. China gets a higher tariff. We get a lower tariff, but our stand is not a stand. This is surrender.
Good evening, Pranesh. I am very disappointed to say that no one in this panel has even cared to go through the details of whatever has been shared by the Indian side and the American side. Firstly, the tariff has gone down from 50 to 18%. The 25% tariff on Russian oil, which we were paying, that has been taken away. Point number two. Now, some will ask, have we surrendered our strategic autonomy? Are we no longer going to buy Russian oil? Let me remind this panel and your viewers that in 2022, when you had a Democrat president in the White House, India defied both Europe and America to import oil from Russia. The Indian government has been changing its oil importers as and when the market forces dictate. Our oil imports from Kuwait, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, they all rely on market forces, and the government has also said that market forces will enable the decision of whoever we import our oil from. Point number three. Are people going to say that we are no longer going to get discounted Russian crude? Please note, between 22 and 26, the differential between Russian crude and the crude from the rest of the world has also narrowed down. Point number four, and I want to fact check Nikhil Jain, we are not opening up our agricultural sector. I'll repeat, we are not opening up our farm and dairy sector. There is a fine difference between opening up your farm and dairy sector entirely and importing certain agricultural goods. For the knowledge of this panel, we already import goods, agricultural goods worth $1.7 billion from America, the majority of it being dry fruits, which we do not cultivate in India, which is a fact. We also have a trade surplus with the Americans, which has doubled since the Modi government took over, from $20 billion in FY15 to $40 billion in FY25. So anyone who's saying that, oh, Modi government has surrendered Americans, Modi government has lost the American market, are entirely wrong. Our trade surplus is pretty strong. Number five, the 500 billion number. People are saying this is unrealistic. They'll have a 0% tariff. That is also wrong. Our annual good import from America is $50 billion. A trade deal or an FTA is not signed for 1 year. This is not like the budget. It's signed for a number of years across several phases. So you can easily cover the 500 billion mark. But it doesn't mean that we have 0% tariffs on all American goods. As of this date, we have tariffs between 5% to 150% on several American products, depending on the category. And as and when the negotiations of the trade deal happen, the tariffs would be decided. Similarly, for our side also, the tariffs would go down from 18%. Final point. You cannot assume anything until the trade deal is announced in a joint statement like it was done for the European Union, narrowed down to a single category and a single product. So everyone here who's fear-mongering, who's misinterpreting what Donald Trump is saying should also listen to the Indian side. Our strategic autonomy is safe, our trade surplus is safe, our exporters are safe.
No, for them the Indian side is Rahul Gandhi's commentary.